So I want to expose more of the myth about why building costs so much. So we're here on one of DPS Construction's current projects, and this is a perfect example of why things cost what they cost. So yeah, in the building industry, and anyone that's thinking about building or renovating, it's quite difficult to understand where to start, how to set a budget, or as I like to talk about it as project spend. Because until you get educated about what something is actually going to cost, it's very hard to put a budget or an amount that you want to spend on it. And as I've discussed before, a lot of the time when people are talking about the budget, it's simply based on how much money they can borrow, how much equity they have in a house, how much money they have in the bank. And a lot of the time it's actually from, I guess, conversations I've had with friends, family, and ads I've seen on TV from volume type builders. And so there's all this confusion about what it actually costs to build a new home or to renovate an existing home. And everything we're doing is trying to help people with that. So this job here, as an example, we're relocating this existing house. So above me here, we've got a typical old inner city cottage, and we're actually sliding that to the front of a property. We've done a huge excavation here. Once the house is slid and in its new position, we've got some more excavation work to do. It's all rock here. And we've then got to put a heap of retaining walls around the property, a lot of drainage, we've got a lot of civil work to do, we've got to get new services to the new block out the back. And so it's quite expensive to do what we're doing. And this is all about giving you guys real life, real stories about why things cost what they cost. So on this particular job here, there's so many things to take into consideration. And one thing that a lot of people don't understand when it comes to building or renovating is it's not just about the house. Like, everyone sees value in the finished product, the finished house or the finished renovation, and yet they don't understand how what it's got to go through to get there. So just on this project here alone, it's a very tight inner city street. There's no parking, so we've got to take parking permits into account. We can't fit large trucks on this site. So when costing this project, we had to consider what size trucks we get to site. We couldn't use large dump trucks. We only had to use small 10-metre dump trucks. We can't get semi-trailers for deliveries. It's all got to come on body trucks, so we can't get as much delivered in one load, all those types of things. And then we don't have any room to unload that. So anything that comes here, we can only use small earthworking machines, excavators and bobcats to load the trucks when we did all this excavation. And just as an example, if we did this same size site cut or bulk excavation out on an outer suburb with plenty of room, we could get a semi-trailer tipper in, we could maybe use a 14 or 15 ton excavator, we actually would have done this site cut in 2 days. Whereas because of the size machines we've had to use here, the site cut and the truck hire and everything has taken 6 days already, and we've still got another 3 or 4 days to go. So the costs get enormous in these situations. And then when it comes to deliveries, everything has to be unloaded by hand. So it's not just simply getting a crane truck on site, lifting the materials off onto the site, and like the delivery truck's gone in half an hour. You can literally have 2, 4, 6, 8 guys unloading a truck for a couple of hours to get everything off the truck and onto the site. So that's just a couple of examples. And then on top of that, when it comes to renovations, you're not starting with a clean slate. So 9 times out of 10 when you're building a new home, especially if it's a volume type build, it's a very flat, very accessible, easy block of land. They come in, they scrape the grass off, they put the slab down, the framers come in, they throw the frame up, and everything happens. It's a very systemized process, and it happens very quickly with minimal labor. When it comes to a renovation, doesn't matter what scale of renovation it is, even if it's only a bathroom or a kitchen renovation, there's a lot of labor because everything is done manually. You're working around an existing structure. It's like as an example, a 180 odd square metre new home, a good carpenter gang can come in and throw that frame up ready for a roof in 2 or 3 days. Whereas on a renovation, you might have the same amount of carpenters on site for 2, 4, 6, 8 weeks, 12 weeks doing the carpentry work to get to the same situation where you're ready to put a roof on a job. So guys, I hope that gives you a little bit more of an insight into why and how things can vary so much in cost when it comes to building and renovating. And as always, if you've got any questions, make sure you shoot us a message, give us a shout out, we're here to help.